Hey Matt, here's an overview of how to add all of the quote unquote units for each version of the course. And you're going to end up having two versions. One's going to be kind of like we talked about, the self-guided version, and then the other one is going to be the mentored version. But right now I'm just going to show you how to add all the units to the first one that I've added, which I think is the self-guided one. It's going to be the same process for the other one too. And you'll get the hang of it, I promise. It might feel like a lot up front, but it's not. I promise it'll be easy once you get going on your own. So the first thing you're going to do is sign into the site. You're going to come to this page, fieldministries.org/wp-admin, and I'll give you your login credentials. So you're going to log in. And you are going to, this is kind of the default dashboard it puts you to, which is the front end of the site, but you're going to go into the back end or the WordPress dashboard by clicking here. And then you're going to come down to, and I gotta say, don't be tempted to go anywhere else right now. This menu, there's a lot of stuff in here. All you're going to need to worry about right now is the CoursePress Pro menu. So you're going to come in here, click on Courses, and you'll see that the first one I've started building is in here. You're just going to click on this. And feel free to come in here and mess around with all of these options, but you can change the name of it. You can change the excerpt, which is the public, what the public will see, people before they buy the course. You can add a custom image if you want to. I can also help you with this. You will eventually come in here and assign instructors, or maybe you just start with you, like yourself as the instructor, and add people later. We'll talk more about this also. Instructors are mentors, so just keep that in mind. We'll come back to that though. Course dates, I don't think you're going to change anything in here since you want this, both of these to be available right away. Classes, discussion, and workbook. You're not going to limit the class size, so I don't think you're going to change that. You might want to check this on. It's up to you really, but definitely make sure that this is checked on, not just for this one, but for the second one when we get that added as well. I believe you said the course was $19.99. If it's different from that, this is where you would change it. Everything else will stay the same in here. So now's the most important part. So units. Unit will be the same as a day. So if this is going to be a 60-day course, we're just going to use the units as, 1 unit per day. So what you're going to do is you're going to come in here and you're going to add a new unit. We'll give this, I'm going to clean these out so you're starting from scratch, but we'll just give it a day as the unit title. It's going to be available right away. You want to check this box and this box. This box, even though you're not going to require each student to answer all the questions that you're going to have in each Bible study for each day, you do need to make sure that they check a box at the very end of each one that we're going to create that says, I have completed this day, or I have completed this unit. However you want to word it, it's up to you. But we need to have that at the end of each one to make sure that if they check it, then they will be allowed to go to the next day. But if they don't check it and agree to basically saying that they've done this unit, then they won't be allowed to go to the next day. So that's the only reason we're checking these two boxes. We're only going to make that the one mandatory question at the very end. And this one, it's going to be a multiple or a single choice. I'll show you this, but we're going to use this module to create that, and we're just going to ask them the question, are you done? And give them either the choice of yes or the choice of no. And if they put no, then that's going to be considered incorrect, and they won't be allowed to go to the next day. So that's background on how this is going to be created. Okay, so going back to it. So give it a unit title, whatever day it is, and then you're definitely going to check this from draft to live. Just click save. And we're only going to use one page per unit. So don't worry about adding pages. That's just a different way of organizing it, but we're just going to keep it simple and keep everything on one page. The page label you can use as the subject. This is where you would put it. And so if you're gonna put a subject in here, you'd wanna leave this box checked on. And this is where you just start building out the content. So the first thing you're probably gonna do is you're gonna add a block of text for them to read. You're not gonna give it a title, so uncheck this. It's up to you if you want to use this, but this would be, you could set it to like maybe 3 minutes, however long you think it will take them to read the text that we're going to put below. That's where you would label it. And that's not for the entire unit, that's just for each section. So just keep that in mind when you're setting those. Now this is your editor in here. If you're on the visual tab, I'll give you an example. If you copy and paste your Word documents into this visual tab, this visual tab is it's basically trying to give you an idea of what it will look like visually on the website when you publish it. It looks pretty good if you copy and paste it, but I want to show you something. If you delete it, there's nothing in here, but you click on the text tab and copy and paste it, there's no formatting here. Or let me actually back up. If I copy all of this, copy and paste it in the visual tab, and I show you the text tab, this is basically HTML text. This is all these little tags in here are trying to format what you've copied in here. It looks like this is italicized, for example, because of HTML that's back in here. It's kind of giving it, some style. You can see that this gets kind of messy. A lot of extra characters and a lot of extra code gets added when you do it this way. And I highly recommend trying to keep this as clean as possible, and because not everyone's going to have, their browser's not going to render it exactly the same way. So you want to make sure that you are putting really clean content in here and it's clean code. And I know it's going to sound like a hassle, but if you can, I recommend doing this to take care of this. So instead of copying and pasting from a Word document, copy the text until you get up to your first question. Just copy everything. And then if you've got a Mac, you can use TextEdit. It's a great program. And just do a new document. I've already created one. And then you're going to make sure it's plain text. So if nothing's in here and I create a new document, this will say make plain text. And I've already kind of done this. So you're going to copy everything from the Word document that you want to go into this text box. Just copy all that. Paste it into the TextEdit file and then format it in here. Add the spaces where you want. I'll come back to making these superscript. Just add, just kind of try to clean it up in here. This is what I recommend doing. And then once you've got everything looking pretty close to the way you want it, copy it from that plain TextEdit file into the visual editor. That way it's going to be a lot cleaner. These just minimal tags you can see in here, these are just simple line breaks and a paragraph tag. It's a lot cleaner than copying and pasting from the Word document. So sorry for the long explanation, but that's what you want to do if you can. And I promise you'll get really good at it and it'll go fast. The last thing is, so if you want to make this italicized, for example, you select it, click that icon. If you want to format these, you're going to select it and click superscript and so on. If you want to add a link to something, I think you had this link to a website, you're going to select it and you're going to click this icon here. And then you're going to paste the URL in there. If you want it to open in a new tab, which I recommend, you're going to come into link options and check this box, open in a new tab. So you put the domain here or whatever you're linking to, check that, and then add link. Okay, so that's it. That's how you add a text block. Now, once you've got that done, you want to add a follow-up question, right? So we're going to select this icon, answer field, and this time, this is where you're going to put the question. And you can copy it from the Word doc. It's not adding any formatting in here. You're going to keep this checked. You're going to uncheck this if it's not a mandatory thing, which all of your questions are going to be, they're not going to be mandatory, except for the very last one at the end. It's not going to be accessible. And you're not going to paste anything in here. You're just going to put the question in here. You can give it a time frame if you want, how long you think it might take them to answer it. And then you're going to change this is really important too, to multiple lines so that they have some more room to write the response, and then save it. And you're going to do that just multiple times over and over again until you've done each unit. So you're going to add another text box, uncheck it, come in here, copy, paste. So you're stripping all the extra formatting that would have been added. Looks okay. Copy, visual, paste, superscript, superscript, and just try to find all of them. Okay, that's it. Now I want to ask them a question. So I'm going to come back up here, add an answer field. It's not mandatory. It's not going to be assessed. This is going to be the next question. Copy, paste, change the time if you want. Multiple lines, save it. So you're just going to do that over and over again until you've got all the content in here. And then the last thing you need to do for each unit, going back to the mandatory, that checkbox that we're going to create basically, you're going to create it with a single choice icon or this module. And you're just going to, however you want to phrase the question, are you done with this unit? And keep it as show title because it's a question. This is going to be, this is going to be left checked as a mandatory answer, and you will keep this checked as well because it's going to be correct if they say yes, it's going to be incorrect if they say no. We're going to uncheck this because that doesn't matter. You're going to leave this at 100%. And now you're going to come down here and fill in the answers, however you want them to check it. You might, however you want to word it. Yes, I've completed this day. However you want to word it. No, not done yet. Whatever you want to say. And then save it. So that's one unit. And again, I promise you will get into a rhythm and it will go fast once you get the hang of it. But that's it. Oh, the other thing, you mentioned putting videos into some of the units. And just like you added the copy for people to read and then you added the questions, you would just click this icon to enter the video module and fill in the prompts. These are drag and drop. This is a drag and drop interface, so you can rearrange them if you want to. You're not totally stuck. You don't have to start over if you've got the order a little bit wrong. That's okay. You can drag and drop the order. I think those are probably the only three that you're going to use, just the text, the answer field, and you're going to make it a multiple line answer, and then the single choice at the very end, and that's the only one that's going to be mandatory. But that's it, and just make sure you're saving your changes as you go. And to add a new day, you're just going to click on add new unit, and that'll be it.